will be joining us soon, and I want to make sure that this is changed. Thank you for your understanding. It is August 26th. Please be advised that the purpose of this Trade Lab RQEDU workshops in the IQ Room trading room is strictly for educational and instructional purposes. It's not a trading advisory service of any kind and should not be construed as such. Past results are not necessarily indicative of future results. So we're in the RQ Lab, and we're starting off with our RQ crossbox found in riosquant.com. We've had some changes in the quant rankings, where the S&P has strengthened just a bit. Dow Jones still remains bearish. These rankings are built out of 9 different components that synthesize into a specific ranking. Anything neutral would be considered lighter position sizing. Anything bullish or bearish that matches up with our charts would be considered aggressive position sizing to take. So what we have are pretty much the financials are a strong neutral. In the NASDAQ, here's a divergence right here where you have the NASDAQ quant ranking a +3 while the S&P is a -3. And the Dow Jones red. So treat your position sizing accordingly. Metals, gold, the quant ranking jumped a bit from an actual red 4 now to a strong neutral, climbed. A strong 2 to a strong 3, pardon me. Copper still remains bullish. Energies are neutral. Grains, now they've turned bullish. We had some big days late last week, and it's reflected in the quant rankings. If you can see buy-side action on our charts with grains, you can afford to take on a more aggressive position sizing. Forex, the only instrument that's showing any bullish macro technical is the dollar CAD. I have taken the dollar CAD to give you the heads up. I actually took it, fell short of my target. I haven't seen this yet. I'm just seeing it for the first time again, and I am still long the dollar CAD with a stop. So I went with that trade earlier on and had myself about 10 pips, but my target is 38, so I'm going to sit tight with that. All right, so with that said, we've got the quant ranking, bullish the dollar CAD. If you can come back down to the NOS level right in here and get a green 5, there may be a Gnostic opportunity, a Gnostic trade. That's trend trading now. Dollar CAD, you can see next stream is bullish. Quant ranking is bullish. The only thing not going for it is that the trading environment is mixed. The technicals are bullish. The trading environment mixed, so there is cautionary attitude that you have to have. I just went with it. It's a light position. Ordinarily, if this was not mixed and it was risk on, I would have done 100,000. Fell just short of my target, and I'll leave that as is for now. Now, let me give you the symbols that gaps should be taken into consideration, and the 24/7 should be considered. ES should be moved to a 24/7. Crude oil should be moved to a 24/7 setting. YM and NASDAQ 24/7. The Aussie US dollar 24/7. New Zealand, the Kiwi, NZD USD, New Zealand US dollar 24/7. Wheat, corn, soybeans, and natural gas 24/7. Whole independent asset class. Just looking over the, just get to my chat box, my question box. So would anybody like me to repeat those symbols once again? Testing 1, 2, 3. Can I just do one quick AV? Okay. Thanks, Neil. All right, so all of you can hear, and that's a good thing. All right, so we have to change, have a little work to do in changing our settings. Of course, we want to, when we see gaps from Friday's close to midnight on Sunday, and there are gaps that are wide, 1 point or 2 points here or there is not going to be a big difference. But you have wide gaps like we had on some of the instruments, you want to make sure you take your settings to 24/7, including the Australian Sydney session starting at 5 p.m. all the way through the Asian session leading into midnight, New York. So you can see this says mixed. But by definition, you have to leave this aside for now. This is actually when the 24/7 is, I mean, the NOS levels are changed on the ES. You've got price action on the sell side, and you have the notes on the buy side. We're risk off right now. The one good thing about the DMS is that it does not take into consideration the change to the 24/7 setting. So just a rule of thumb, when you have a gap on one of the two benchmarks, either the ES or the notes, please rely on your own visualization of where the benchmarks are on the chart. In this case, S&P on the sell side of the chart, treasuries on the buy side. So selling of equities, buying of treasuries, risk off. Yes, it was brought to my attention. The natural gas should be changed to October. I'm going to do that right now. Actually, I should have it. Why isn't that being saved? Well, okay. I'll get to that in just a moment. You all should be looking at the October contracts. And if EP's on the September, call it to his attention. So here's the crude oil. Obviously, we are crude oil off the charts, well beyond our extreme levels. That's game over. S&P has hit extremes. That game is over. We'll just go through it. All the indices have gaps, so they'll show up with a 24/7 setting. NASDAQ has not hit its extreme yet. There is an opportunity to sell NASDAQ. It is a laggard, but it's the strongest of the week. It's kind of behind the Dow Jones. Nonetheless, there may be an opportunity for a Gnostic trade in here. YM, game over here. So ES, E-mini S&P, E-mini Dow Jones have hit its extreme support levels. The only indice left for consideration on any type of action would be the NASDAQ. And the NASDAQ, if in fact you're thinking about first, the NASDAQ is a strong neutral, so that's light position sizing. Second, the NASDAQ is in zone 2. That is higher risk with gearing down your leverage. So if you're going to look at the NASDAQ as a stock index, which is the only candidate of those indices that's still live, that could be traded, you're going to really lower your position sizing and only take 1% risk. So with that, we'll take a look at the gold. There was no gap in gold. Slight gap, tiny one, but I don't think EP is going to change it. There wasn't really much of a gap in here, so let's just leave it at 24.5 for now and let EP tell us if he's going to use it as for the trade lab. But for now, I would not look at the gold market on a 24/7 setting. The other thing I would not take into consideration with gold is first, the trading environment is risk off, so that's all right. Second, we've got gold's next stream with bearish velocity. We've got a strong neutral in gold in the quant report. Nothing's lining up at all. The one thing I can tell you at this point, knowing what you know about the quant ranking, knowing what you know about the next stream, and knowing what you know about risk off conditions at this moment, ignore the DMS for now. Are you buying? Is anybody buying gold today? Let me ask that question to the memberships. Are you buying gold? You can say yes. Oh, I'm not getting any answer. Jim says it depends. Yeah, it depends if it breaks 1400 decisively with good volume. Right? Rob Bayer says stay long. Intraday, Rob? You're relatively new and you're visiting our trade lab. Are you talking about swing trading, daily data, or intraday data? Day trading. Because long term, that's a whole entire different. I happen to agree with you that gold looks good, but at this point, take a look at what's up here. Short term, there's a distribution of price action right in here. There's no doubt if it breaks the prior day's high, London's high, it's going to run right to support resistance 1A and B, no doubt. But with velocity of price action bearish, and we know that the navigator 30-minute setting has been broken, I would start telling you, I would advise you to start looking for zone 2 trades, bearish zone 2 trades in gold. When I say looking for it, keep an eye on it. This is where the highest probability of finding price action and its continuation. Right in here. It's got to break our bearish Gnostic level. So with that, I think what I'll do is just stop the recording at this point. That's our tip of the day. Look for a short opportunity in gold if price action violates 1386.80 with either a green 5 Tectonic, or we can get these RQ channel indicators down into the bearish zone. We have there will be no buy side action for me anyway. Still long the Canadian. It was the one contract that met all of the criteria. The quant ranking was bullish. Next stream is bullish. In fact, dollar is strong right across the board, isn't it? If that's not risk off, I don't know what that picture shows you. So there's some opportunities that are starting to crop up in the euro US dollar. It's already broken. Has anybody been taking currency trades? Let me ask you that, because right here there may be an opportunity. If you can see the market come back up and get a green 5, there'll be an opportunity, but it's already broke the 7 right here at 69, and you had a wave down, first wave down, but there's more to come. I think selling There's going to be continued selling pressure. This is probably going to be Friday's low. It's probably going to be the target. So the tune of the day now today, it looks like Arcutech is saying essentially strong dollar. At this point, I'm going to end the broadcast. It's August 26th of 2013. Steve Schwartz with the RQ Trade Lab, signing off until tomorrow.